Hello friends and welcome to Darkest Dungeon 2. My name is Domek Bonsai and finally, after 2 weeks of being out of town, I get to dig my teeth into this juicy new game. But first of all, let me introduce myself, and for those of you that don't care about stuff like that, don't hesitate to skip right ahead to the gameplay. A timestamp will be in the description. I'm a 37-year-old dude from Germany, and video gaming has been my biggest hobby since pretty much forever. I grew up with computers, my first one ever being the Commodore 64, and if you know what that is, tell me in the comments. I'm very excited to hear how many of you remember those good old days. So I've been playing a lot of video games throughout the years, and I gotta say one of my favorite ones ever was Darkest Dungeon. Meaning Darkest Dungeon 1, of course. I got into it because I liked the Lovecraftian theme and the art style a lot when I first saw it, and after I first played it, I was immediately hooked. I loved the gameplay, I loved the difficulty and the fact that it didn't treat you like a little delicate porcelain doll like many games today do, but just threw you into this hellhole of a place and let you figure out what's going on for yourself. By the way, that's also why I love the Dark Souls series, but I digress. So, all in all, I spent a bit over 500 hours on DD1. Completed all the game modes at least once, and now this beautiful thing here released. I'm excited, I'm hyped, and I thought to myself, what if I didn't just play the game all by myself, but instead shared this excitement with other people? And that's why I decided I'd try out this whole YouTube thing here and start my own channel. It's been a bit overwhelming so far, but also quite a lot of fun. And if you have any kind of feedback for me, I'd be stoked to read about it in the comments. So, what can you expect from my videos? I try to stay as unspoiled about the game as possible. I watched a bit of gameplay during the early stages of the early access, so I know about the areas of the game, saw a lot of the basic enemies and like 1 or 2 bosses, but for the most part this will be pretty much blind, like 90% blind. So at the beginning I will need to read skill descriptions, tutorials and so on, which I will take my time for, because there are few things in my opinion that are more infuriating than watching a guy play a game, never reading descriptions and then wondering why the things don't do what he thought they would. And I think that should do it for now. If I forgot something important, we can talk about it later. We aren't here to stare at the title screen forever. So let us go ahead and jump right into Darkest Dungeon 2.
Ruin has found you at last. My protege, my friend. Our calculations were correct. The ephemeral equation is unbalanced. The Earth spins on a strange and terrifying new axis. And everywhere, unbridled consequence. The world is a wasteland of failures past. And yet, you must ride out into it, unafraid. Take this. It is hope, the very last of it. It is yours now. You were bold once. Be bold once more. Free yourself from this suffocating stillness. Fix your gaze on the horizon. And face the fearsome truth of the darkest dungeon. Indistinct and ill-lighted. No comfort awaits you here.
Ooh, very, very nice. I don't know if you caught it, but there was this part in this video just now where this hanged man was pointing with his arm into the distance, and that's so totally a reference to Darkest Dungeon 1. There was exactly the same scene on the starting video sequence of Darkest Dungeon 1 with a guy hanging from a tree pointing down the old road where the guys with the stagecoach would arrive at the hamlet. Just great. Okay, so for now it's the prologue. And I think this will be pretty much our tutorial area. So, we got no other choices. Jump right in. Okay, so our stagecoach, going to drive, can steer left and right down the road.
I know failure well. I glimpsed it lurking at the ragged edges of your mind. I watched its venom spread through the veins of the world, and I trembled at its terrible reverberations. The crossroads. Wait by the lantern's light, and welcome what help may come.
Okay, the party. So I think I will skip through all of these things here very quickly, but I'm probably not gonna show all of this in the video. Okay, so the stagecoach view. This is something new I haven't seen in the early access before. So the stagecoach has armor and wheels points. We need to repair it later, okay. Yeah, the party, there's 4 people. Party creation, we got our guys. Okay. So far so good. So, here we are at the party creation screen. A lot of the options for the heroes we need still to unlock. For now we only got 4 guys. It's the Plague Doctor Paracelsus, the Grave Robber Audrey, the Highwayman Dismas, and the Man-at-Arms Barristan. So, for now, we don't need to think too much about which guys to use, because we only got 4 of them and the party consists of 4 people. But this thing here shows us where best to place the character and which targets from the enemy group they will be able to attack. We will see that later. Oh my god, there's so much stuff on the screen. We can look at the skills of the character. The character will have a positive and negative quirk from the very start, and I suppose they will be able to earn more during the adventure. There are paths. I don't know what that is. Plague Doctor path. So maybe we can later unlock other paths to further specialize them into certain things. Oh, that will be interesting. Ah, okay. And I've seen about this already. The Shrines of Reflection will be able to unlock further skills that are also locked at the very start, and will also give us a backstory about every character that we have, and then we can look at it here so we don't forget about it. That's very good. That's nice. Okay, so for now every character has just 5 perks, 5 skills, excuse me. And how is this actually described? So You can see with the name, Noxious Blast, you can see it's a ranged attack. And then from which positions the hero will be able to use it. So when we fight a group of enemies, there will be 4 of us with positions 1 to 4 and 4 of the enemies. And we, with this one, can from the back ranks attack the front rows of the enemy group. We see how much damage it does, the crit chance. And we see that the target will get blighted. I think this is the symbol. And it pierces blighting resist of the enemy target if it's got a certain status effect. Okay, I think I will skip over all of the skills of all characters, because I don't think you want to see me look at all of them right now. So I do know what I'm supposed to be doing while playing, and then I'll come right back in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back. And I gotta say, this is quite confusing. There are a lot of symbolism in the skill descriptions. Like, this one here says self-forward 1, which makes sense. You move 1 position forward in your lines. But this one just says self-shield times 2, target another shield times 2. And where the difference between those is not explained very well anywhere, but that's what I just said. I like how you're just thrown into the thick of it and need to figure out what's going on yourself. So, I think we don't...
Pride. More devastating than the horrors of 100 campaigns.
I think we don't put in too much work and try to figure things out on the way a bit here. So, these are the usual suspects. We jump into the prologue.
Onward, and let us hope enough yet remains of the world.
Okay, so we are on the road with our stagecoach.
You see? Even your valley is not immune to the spreading stain.
And we go right into the very first fight. Okay. So, for now, these are 2 lost souls. I think these will probably be the easiest enemies in the game. 13 HP we see on the bottom right corner. And I think we'll just go ahead and whack at them. Oh, I love the animations. Oh yeah. That's great. They really managed to nail those animations like they did in the very first Darkest Dungeon. I totally loved how they managed, with just such very few frames that they use, to make the combat feel so dynamic. Ooh, those guys are chomping away at us. And there he goes. Take a pick to the face. I don't think we need to try and knock this guy back and so on. Just knock him out. Yes. Feels good.
We are the flame, burning brightly for all the world to see.
Okay, so we won this fight. I think we got some more tutorials up here. Oh yeah, something with the roster arrangement. You can arrange them with dragging the portraits, yeah. And there's no retreat in... Oh, there's no retreat in battle. Little difference from the first one. You can see the turn order in the top right corner. Oh, I didn't pay enough attention to that right now. At the beginning of each round, the characters roll initiative. and add their speed, and then we can see which order they interact with. Very well, okay, so that's a bit less random than in the first Darkest Dungeon. You may use a combat item as a free action. Okay, I've seen this in the early access. And then we can use a hero skill. We get information about the skills. Yeah, launch rank, target rank. This is the yellow and blue dots. Nothing new here. Of course, you can pause the video anytime if you want to read this any more than I give you time for. Ah, okay. Skills can cause a variety of effects which are shown by tokens. You can mouse over them. That will be very helpful. And there's a glossary. Hold Control to view the glossary. Nice. So you can take a look at this during combat. This will be probably very helpful at the very start. Nice. And we get some loot from our very first fight. The Candle of Hope. Altar Currency. Okay, I think we'll see what this does later. And a Hail Drought. The trinket that increases the maximum HP of the hero, but reduces their crit chance. So that's something that we know from Darkest Dungeon 1. Most trinkets don't just have an upside, but also a downside.
Are you shaken? There is so much worse in store.
I hope so. Okay, so let's take a quick look at those tutorials. The inventory we can access through the I button. Some items stack. Okay, there's treasures. We can find relics, baubles, and mastery points, which are like currency for different things. Purchase supplies from vendors, upgrade your hero skills, right. Every hero can carry 2 trinkets. Equipping trinkets is also done in the inventory screen, of course. Okay, makes sense. So let's go to the inventory. And okay, here's our wheels. Damaged when driving on rough routes. When 100% each hero gains plus 50% travel healing. Oh, so our heroes heal automatically while we travel. I think that's something that they added later during the early access. It wasn't in the game originally. And armor. When driving on hazardous routes. When we are at 100%, each hero starts the combat with a shield. That I think we had that at the fight we just fought. I was wondering why all of our characters were getting these shield modifiers. Okay. So here's our different things. We have combat items, in items, all items. Okay. And this is the stagecoach window. Where can we actually equip our characters? Ah, here it is. Okay, so I think for now we give our Hail Drought to the Man-at-Arms because he's like the tank character. With a lot of health will be really helpful to have around. Yep, +4 from the trinket. Oh, that's very nice tooltips. Very, very useful. Yep, just great. Okay, and we travel further down the road. Didn't realize I had to click on that. Okay, so we have an encounter. During encounters such as this one, we must pick one of the choices by holding on one of our heroes. Heroes have opinions about how a given encounter should be resolved. When we choose hero's response. Any heroes that agree with the acting hero will have their mutual affinity increased. Any heroes that disagree will have their affinity decreased with the blue girl. Okay, okay. Assistance encounters bring the heroes face to face with the downtrodden local populace. These forlorn creatures are in need of help and often have valuable supplies to offer to the heroes in return. Helping the locals is the best way to restore the flame. Okay, so at the very top we see we have bright light. Our flame's at 76. And this gives our heroes a small benefit and the enemies a small detriment. Okay, so we can't pick a choice for Barristan and Audrey, but Paracelsus and Dismas have an opinion on how we should resolve this, and they agree with each other. So we have the golden glow, and this will be good for their relationship. Okay, and we don't have to pay anything. We just get plus 100 flame. And okay, if we choose Dismas's choice, we get like a trinket, I think this will be. And here we get some supplies, I suppose. I don't know what's better right now, but let's just go with some supplies. Okay, we get 100 flame, we get another candle of hope, we get a glimmer of hope, a combat item. Plus 15 flame, so we can increase our flame during combat. That's nice. And a pouch of lie. Clears corpses during the fight. Okay, we take that. I think we might want to equip this. So, it's up here, the combat item for the character. Okay, put the pouch of lie on the plague dog. And maybe we put the glimmer of hope on our highwayman. Again, another tutorial about combat items. Yeah, okay, I think we already had that. So, let's go ahead. Reaching 1 out of 1, it says on the bottom right, so I think we will reach the end of the tutorial in a few.
You can feel it. A change in the air.
Another fight.
The bulwark of your denial is giving way.
Ooh. Those look a bit more intimidating than the first ones. This one is a woodsman, and that's a widow. And I think because of the bright light that we have, there's a 10% sound... excuse me, 10% chance per round. Wow. That the guy gets this status effect, and I think this is probably blindness. Yeah, he has a 50% chance to miss the next attack. So let's look at this. Oh yeah, there's the pop-up where we can see what all the things do. There's a lot of them. Oh my god. I think at some point we will remember what each of those do. But for now, it's just really a good thing to be able to quickly see what they are doing. So there's a dodge and a dodge plus, which is a better thing. And this thing with the blocks, yeah, that's a basic block, better block. And this means guarded, okay? Okay, okay, very well. So I think, for now, just batter these guys to death. And I think we want to use some poison darts for this back row character here. Because in the back row, for as far as I'm concerned, there's mostly the most important enemies to get rid of quickly. Because those guys tend to do stress damage on your characters. Okay. Oh, it was a miss. Very nice. So this guy protected his comrades. So now he's got a block, which makes him take reduced damage. And this one is guarded for 2 rounds by the woodsman. So if you attack him, the attack will be redirected to the woodsman. Okay. So Rampart. What exactly does that do? It moves us forward, it moves the target backwards, and it's got this little twirly symbol, which means it's a daze. The next turn will be delayed to the end of the round. Oh, so we can make them act later if they are early in the turn order. But this will not be helpful to make this guy not protect him. I don't think we need defender. Maybe just whack away. Okay, so we saw normally this would have dealt 7 damage, but it was only 4 because of his block. Academic view. During combat, we can hold the Alt button while mousing over heroes or enemies to see the academic view. This valuable screen shows full details on any tokens the combatant has. Okay, that seems very useful. The view also shows details about what combat skills enemies have. Skills start hidden, but as you observe the enemy use them in combat, the details will be revealed. That's useful, very useful, okay. And here's a little tutorial about DOTs. So there's 3 times of damage over time effects, bleed, blight and burn effects. And they will cause damage at the beginning of the combatant's turn. And that's pretty much it. Very useful stuff, I love DOTs. Okay, so we have the tracking shot, which doesn't do any damage, I think, right? Yeah, it doesn't do damage. Just removes or ignores enemies' stealth and dodge. So maybe just go ahead. He's got no more blocks. That's a lot different from the first Darkest Dungeon. On the first Darkest Dungeon, you protect someone, you get a buff to your protection, and this will be there for a few rounds. You could take all of the damage for your team during this time. Nice repose.
This is
14 damage! Holy moly! Not bad. Yeah, here's the attack that deals horror. So for 3 turns, our plate dog has a 75% chance to increase their stress level. Okay. It's so bad that we can't kill this guy because of him protecting him. But I think it's finished now. So that was a combo move. I think because of this skull symbol that we had there. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, it's a combo token. Triggers additional effects for some skills then. Okay. So let's kill this guy. With a critical attack. Yo man, that was a lot more than you needed to do.
All the difference.
Okay, so the Picture the Face has an 50% critical chance when the target has this combo token on it. That sounds nice. Also, the same for the Thrown Dagger. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So, let's blight this guy. Yeah, there it is. And put our man-at-arms to the front position again. Carve the toy. Ooh. Don't want to know what this does when it hits. Okay, and that's something new from the very first part. Enemies also have death resistance. You can see on the bottom right corner, he's got a death resistance of 25%, so every time we hit him now, he's got a chance to not die. But Wicked Slice will ignore some of his death resistance, so I think we will use that and probably just kill him.
Sweet reprieve. Until the next test is put before you.
Even more candles of hope. I think those will be a lot rarer later, but for now we are getting spammed with them. And this is Laudanum. I think this will be a very important combat item. Can remove 1 point of stress and horror from a character. Very nice. Let's take a look.
Push on to the inn. Rest and resupply await you.
Okay, so it seems that this was the last fight during the tutorial. Let's just look at these ones. Monsters have death blow resistance. Yeah, we just found out about that. Critical attacks. They do the normal attack damage times 150%. And for DOT attacks, the duration is increased by 2 rounds. And they are more likely to hit, because they ignore some resistance of the enemies. That's nice. And if we get a critical heal, it will heal 50% more health. Okay, that's good to know. And we get some information about the combo token. Many hero and monster skills have special effects that only happen if the target has a combo token on them. In all cases, combo is bad for its recipient. Okay, so we don't want to have this on our characters. Having it means that the actor is vulnerable to some very damaging and disruptive enemy skills. Combo tokens are best used as 1-2 punches. Yeah, so one hero places the token, the other one takes advantage of it. Yeah, I like that a lot because it makes our heroes. Heroes is not the right name for those guys. For adventurers, maybe? Yeah. They're not very heroic, per se. But it makes them interact with each other a lot more and gives us some interesting ability to combo their skills into each other. I'm very excited to see how this will work out in the future. And we arrive at our first inn stop.
The roaring heart does much for the weary body. Even more, perhaps, for the restless soul.
Okay, very nice. We received another 2 candles for reaching the inn. Let's continue. You have found your fortitude at last. Collect what hope you can and end your expedition here. Okay. So, as far as I know, during future runs, not during the prologue, it seems, we will be able to use some items that we found during our journey on our characters to improve their odds for the next part of their journey. But this one will come to an end here. Yep, end expedition. We can't do anything more.
Will you press on into uncertainty, or claim what you can?
Okay, so here's a quick result of the run, which we can see how many candles we found, if we've got any regions completed. I think these candles will be very important for the roguelike aspect of the game to improve between runs and make further runs in the future go better. Okay, but we will see about that later. For now, we collect hope and end our expedition.
Each milestone makes the next road just a little easier.
Maybe it does. Okay, so got another few tutorials here. We can end early. At any point, you can end the expedition and collect your candles of hope. During normal expeditions, making it to the next inn is usually worth the effort because it will award significant additional candles. Candles of hope. What are those things? When the journey ends, you are awarded candles of hope. Based upon how well you did, candles are used to unlock and upgrade heroes, items and more at the altar of hope. Okay, so we finally know what those are. Even when an expedition is surely lost, it's worth pressing on to get more candles. Those candles can make the next journey easier. Okay. Prologue quest is complete. For this first venture through the valley, there's nothing left to do, so end expedition at the lower left corner of the inn screen. Normally the expedition can end in 3 ways: victory, defeat, or abandoning. Okay. So, that's that. And I think that will be it for the very first episode of Darkest Dungeon 2. So far we only learned very basic things. There was nothing really threatening here, but I think in the future this will change dramatically. I can't wait to play more of this and share it with you. But for now, let's end this video. My name is Domo Make Bonsai. I'm your friendly little neighborhood tree. I wish you all the best, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!